tried to do some demos first time. Overnight, we worked even more harder to make it even better, and we are going to show you something more even exciting. So first of all, thank you for joining us today. My name is Pranav Mistry, and I work with Neon, with this wonderful team, wherever they are, working hard for last 4 months only. So whatever you are seeing today is Neon, is a 4 months of the work. So think about that. This is not a completely ready product. This is not also beta that we are going to launch to the market. But we believe that we want to give a preview of a wonderful technology that we have, a wonderful future we can create together. So whatever you are seeing is 4 months of the hard work, 4 months of the days and 4 months of the nights. So please forgive us if you see some glitches in the demos, because this is not final product or beta products or something. But as 6 years before, when I was in CES, I see wonderful products around me. I thought, why can we not give also a glimpse of the future in the CES? And today, we want to bring that demo aspects of it, that future aspects with Neon in CES. So at Neon, we truly believe that can we bring science fiction to reality? Can we not just imagine but live in that future today, or can we start designing that future ourselves? And many of you are here to ask me this question: what is Neon? It's an obvious question, that what is Neon? In our 5th standard or 4th standard or different part of the world, different schools, we learn a periodic table, and you heard the word neon. We are seeing these neon lights lighting the streets of the Las Vegas and Tokyo's and China and Shanghai and everywhere. Neon is this wonderful small element that's sitting in the 10th place on this periodic table. If some of you already know about neon, neon is an inert gas, a noble gas. They call it noble. Why noble? Because they don't like to talk to people. They don't interact with other elements. But when you bring electricity near to them, when you connect them to the internet, when you connect them to the digital world, when you connect them to the electric field, they glow. They become alive. So this is the one inspiration that we took, that neon, a neo-human, we call it. And that's what the neon we call it. But I'm sure that you are not here to learn the physics part of the neon. What you are here to learn is that what is this neon about? So I just told you the story, the naming of neon behind, but let us now go, what is the neon behind? I work in tech industry for more than 15 years. Many of you have witnessed my past work when you see the Galaxy Gears, or when you see augmented realities, when you see a smartwatch, first smartwatch launched by Samsung. Many of this work was started by me and my team, built from ground up, design, technology, algorithms. For my past 15 years, I've been always dreaming about how can we connect the bridge between machines and humans. How can we make machine world much more interactive, so that anyone can talk to technology in the same way that we talk to each other. Right. So we started with this question. I started with this question, that can we push the boundaries of what we can create as a human, as a mankind? And those questions have been asked in past for many visionaries or many people, questioning those things, failing, trying. And I wanted to give my try, that can I try something? Can we push what science can achieve, what technology can achieve? Or even further question, can we make technology more human? Rather than we becoming more machine, can we make machines more human? And of course, we are seeing some of those things already happening in our homes and in our pockets now. We are talking to them, our AI assistants, and interfaces becoming much more human. But then, there is a child in every one of us mind. We always dream that can there be machines like us? In science fiction movies, in literatures, we always dream about that, can we have machines that behave like human? Virtual characters that talk to me, as in my 3-year-old daughter, for her, a Princess Ona is much more important than me. If princess is sad, she is more sad than me being sad. The next generation is coming, they want to live in this world where there is no difference between how they feel about technology or human. That's one part of it. The second part of it, same example of my 3-year-old daughter. Right now when she's talking to a AI assistant in my home, she said, stop, don't play this music. She's talking to that machine in the terms of machine. Stop, open, close. I don't think that's a human interaction. There is a speech part of it, but that's not we talk to the human. What we want to do is that we want to push this boundaries that can those machines start understanding more about us, that we are tired, we are happy, our emotions, our expressions. And that is what not only me, but many other fields are also thinking of. We have seen that film industry, movie industries are already using a lot of virtual characters or characters that look like real. The actor, the younger version of the actor, we able to see in the film with technology. We also have the gaming world where they want to make game characters as real as possible. For last 15 years, every year the progress is becoming, we cannot differentiate the character almost until they start moving, they're showing some expressions. And of course, we want our AI assistants and our phone also to have a digital avatars and those things. So we as a human, we always dream, not only for last 30, 50 or 100 years, but even before that. Monkey King in China was a character that was just a written story, but we start living that way. So that is what the third question was about, that can machines be like us, like human? Can they look like us? So when I say look like us, can machines be humans like this? Can our interface with the technology be not those buttons and controls and just talking? Can we go a step further? That is where the dream started. So again, I'm reminding you that this is just a 4-month-old experiment we started. 4 months before, we set up in a small office with wonderful colleagues with the same vision, same dream, with background in science and technology and computer science, AI, machine learning, design, strategy. They're all working day and night to make this thing happen and to show it to you today what we have. So I want to start that, of course, those early algorithms, it started in October of the 2018. What I'm showing you right now is I'm giving you inside view what actually happened and why we decided we want to come to CES and have this neon in front of all of you to be partner with you.
Today we are trying to see how far we can go with this experiment. We tried this experiment quite a few times, but it appears that every time we try, it ends up being one thing or the other. Samsung is coming in a new era of innovation and learning. Today morning, Trump announced...
Okay, I think this is going a little bit more personal, but what you are seeing over here, this was an experiment. In a small garage of me and my friend experimenting some of the codes and say, can we push these boundaries of something? Of course. What you are seeing is that my friend Abhijit, real and not real version. When I say not real means, let me explain you what is happening. Right now, can you tell me exactly that which Abhijit is the real Abhijit, which one is not? It's very hard to differentiate. Of course, if you notice over here that it's getting closer, that uncanny valley is getting broken slowly. When we are having this experiment, we will say, okay, there is something happening. Let's keep pushing. So this experiment was a little bit later than the October. We went a step further. When we started seeing not only Abhijit is able to control Abhijit, But someone else was able to control what Abhijit can say, what Abhijit can smile, how Abhijit can behave. Maybe your expression, your smile, can a digital version of Abhijit smile like you? Can a digital version of Abhijit talk like you? That started happening. We become more excited. And then we started our machines, the Core R3, the algorithm that I'm going to talk about, keep going on and on and on, night and day and night and day, and they started learning themselves. It becoming more and more powerful. And then this thing happened. Now what is happening over here is that a friend of mine, Michael, he's actually standing back. He was able to drive this thing, but slowly, Michael doesn't need to be there. Now Michael is giving no input, no expressions, no behaviors to Core R3, to my engine, to the software algorithm. That algorithm can live autonomously, be able to generate new expression, new behavior, new content, original content. So think about that every AI assistant that's sitting in our phone right now, the real voice behind, there is a real person. Alexas of the world, or the Siris of the world, or Bixbys of the world is based upon some person. In China is based upon some Chinese person. In Japan is based upon a Japanese person. Similar way, what was happening over here, that Michael version of the Neon was based on Michael, but now it can live its autonomous, independent, original life with original content that Michael never had this before. Wonderful. So when that happened, we said, aha, CES is coming, 4 months left, can we pull this off? I don't know, did we pull this off or not? We don't know. Is it hard to explain? Yes, it is hard to explain because this is not a simple concept. It is really hard to understand what is happening over here. Even for some of my colleagues, they are still figuring out what is happening over here. What is machine? Why machine is smiling like that? Why it is talking that Michael never said this thing? How can it say that thing? But when that happened, that's where we said, okay, 4 months left. Let's go for it. There is some interesting discovery over here. Let us show to the world. Not just to show to the world, but let's get them involved inside that thing. Let's work together that we have this technology. What should we do with this thing? What is the possibilities or opportunities the future has to provide in this thing? And then this happened. So now we have version 0.8. That is what you are seeing over here. As I mentioned, this is not a beta version. Beta version will be the 0.8 to 0.9, and when the version 1 comes, that's our beta version. What you are seeing is a very early preview, 4-month-old preview of a technology which now is able to generate its own content, not manipulate content. Do not misunderstand that this is an image or video manipulation technique as you have seen in deepfakes or many of the other techniques. This content is generated real time by machine originally, based upon a person, same as your AI assistant is based upon a real person's voice. But that person didn't have exactly that expressions ever. Now, let us go a step further. So when this experiment started becoming more and more powerful, we started thinking about that, okay, we have reality, almost reality, 100% kind of reality, we need that. In order to be someone human or feel like that you are interacting, it needs to be real time. When I'm talking to you, you are nodding your head. It needs to be real time. When I'm talking real time, I'm talking about 20 milliseconds. So think about in 20 milliseconds, every smile is generated and providing to you. And it needs to be responsive. It needs to understand there is a person in front of it, there can be camera, sensor. There is a traditional method to do that, computer vision, traditional. Nothing to do, nothing so fancy. But when you put these two R's, reality, real time, responsive together, that is what we call Core R3. What we are here to show you today is a preview of Core R3. We are a technology focused, we are a scientist, mathematician, physics people. We do not understand what's the business model of something or how will you sell this to market. Let's figure it out that later. Because every great idea starts with the science behind that thing. If you have a right science, right pushing the boundary of the science of technology, we will find the right use of that technology to make the better world. So now, let me explain you what Core R3 does. So Core R3 is built upon this whole concept of reality, real-time and responsive. Core R3 is not intelligent. Don't misunderstand that Core R3 has intelligence on its own. Core R3 doesn't have the concept of memory. Core R3 does not have a concept of learning yet. I will come to that. At the end of the presentation, I will come to something more interesting that we are building. So what does the Core R3 has? Core R3 is built upon these three principal behavior neural network. And neural networks are everywhere. When you talk to your AI assistant, when you search on a search engine, all of those are based upon neural networks. But behavior neural network is helping Core R3 to give that behaviors, the smiles, the angry behavior. There is a generative intelligence. When I was saying that my friend Michael, he was not giving any input, but my machine was independently generating content, this guy was playing his role. And there is something called computational reality, nothing new. Let me be frank. Computational reality, algorithm of the computer graphics and rendering engine exists for last 40 years. When we were kids, we were playing games. These are the similar techniques. But when you combine two of our core contribution with a traditional technology, we have a magic happening in Core R3. So, what Core R3, how does Core R3 work? Core R3 is extensively trained with multiple people's human understanding. How does human look? How does human talk? Not the sound, but how does human behave? When you say something, how do you move your head? How much open your mouth? When you say hello, like how your teeth goes away from each other. It trained with how does human move their hand when they say something. When I'm talking, or when I say no, nodding, when I do up and down, how does my mood speed changes? All this data goes inside this Core R3. Not one, all of those are getting inside. Now, Core R3 is processing that information with behavioral neural networks, with our computational reality algorithms, and with the generative intelligence that we have. Then, the Core R3 is now able to generate what we call neons. What you are seeing around over here. Does it become a little bit clear? Core R3 is not, each neon computer is not driving one neon. Core R3 is just one time generating that neon. Now that neon can continuously generate new information, can have new learning, not from Core R3, but its interaction with the real world. Because now that neon, when it goes to the field, when it's deployed in a restaurant as a concierge service, or when it's deployed as a friend to your home, they will talk to you. Their characteristic will change. They will know more about us. That is what our goal is. So right now, what you're going to see the neon, you're not going to see on neon. If you come tomorrow, the same booth here, that neon doesn't know that you are in front of it. Very frank, simple. It doesn't have the concept of memory right now. But when we add that capabilities, when we have that. So what we are going to do today right now is, again, as a technology people, we love to do demos. We don't like to just say. So what we are seeing over here, there are many neons and scenarios of the neons you have seen around this booth. You have questioned that, okay, all these neons are working neons. We can make any of them working neons. Right now, they are showing the scenarios that were captured and processed by our machines beforehand. But I have limited amount of the computing right now, so I will be able to make this, that neon alive, like this. because I can connect those things to my machine and they will be able to generate you live responses, live information. So let me invite my friend Simon to show you very early stage of the preview of what Disco-RZ can achieve already.
Thank you, Pranav. Just give me a second to get set up here.
Again, if you see some glitches, forgive us, it's a demo. This is the second day we are ever showing this thing to anyone in the world. So what Simon is trying to show you, I think the first thing is that we have a 1 and 2 neon over there, and maybe there is, if you see backside, my friend Michael is there, he's waving his hand there. Like I asked them, can you make that neon also live? Because some of you had a question yesterday, oh, can this be interactive? Yes, now this is interactive. I can turn on because I only have limited amount of the computing I can provide. I said, okay, let's make that on live. So you can see that now when Michael is there, that neon is also alive.
Okay, thank you, Pranav. Let me explain a little bit what we'd like to show here. As Pranav mentioned, we've got 3 neons running, 2 here at the moment, and a third one that some of you might be able to see on a screen by the smaller booth room there. Now, you'll notice a few things. First of all, this is a visualization of their internal state, what their mood is at the moment. And this indicates that they're in an autonomous mode, that they're selecting what behaviors to perform. Now, when I connect to them, I'll be using this tablet, and that will allow me to ask them to perform some specific actions. So we've gone into live mode. I should be connected. I can work individually or with the group of neons. Just for testing, I'm connected to all 3, and I'll ask them to freeze and see if they're responding. Okay, seems that the connection is alive. Now, perhaps I've said something and they don't really agree, or maybe they do agree, and I'd like them to start smiling or nodding. So you'll see that she's nodding, and I can ask the one over here to nod as well if I'd like. So I'll just do that.
And while that's happening, you can see that their internal state on that small window that you're seeing as a debug window, you will see that actually their mind state, or whatever you call it, internal state, is moving towards that particular permutations.
Now they can also speak, so I'll ask the yoga instructor to say something. And she's thinking about that, and in a moment we'll have her say some greeting. It's just coming now. Okay.
Welcome.
Or perhaps
Welcome.
perhaps there's something else she might want to say.
Did you notice that even the welcome, she said welcome different way, then welcome different way. The reason for that is because
Are you having fun?
it's not in our control how they're going to react to that particular situation.
Now, we knew that since we're at CES, there's a lot of cameras around, so we thought it might be fun to have them pause and pose in a selfie position. So I've asked them all to assume a selfie pose at this point, and that's just being queued up, and you'll see them enter that.
And you can see
now.
the same thing happening on the back side neon also. So they are all controlled with the same systems right now. Okay. Let me little bit interrupt over here and explain what is happening over here. If you are coming from the field of the machine learning or AI or any kind of computer science field, you know that machines are good at 2 things. Machines are good at the speed. They can be very fast because we humans will need some time. They can work very quickly. Another thing machines are good at, that they are good at having billions of possibilities. Why a chess player or a Go player in Korea, the number 1 Go player in the Korea or chess player in the world cannot beat a computer? Our computer become creatively smart? No. Because machines can have billion possible paths, they can calculate all the billion possible paths and can very fast and give it to you. This is what happening in the demo number 1. All these neons, 2 neons, have a multiple way to do, say, welcome, multiple way to smile, multiple way to do this thing, and they can choose whatever way they want. They do not have their intelligence right now in that particular part. They are choosing that permutation, that path, and coming back to that same when we are instructing that by this machine. Later, that can be interactive, because if you smile, this responsive system of the core R3 can understand that, okay, that was a smile, I need to respond with a smile, and that is what the machine is about. But all of this thing that you are seeing is live, real time, 20 millisecond delay. And then now we are going to go a step beyond. Not just the permutations, not just the selective path, but can we have a finer control? Can we say that smile and then say something? Can we say the say something, same thing, but can we say with the angry voice? Can we control the individual eyes closing and opening? That is what will be the magic. How that happens, because this is not a selected paths now. This is where the core R3's reality engine kicks off. Reality engine now is able to generate every single permutation or the view that you're seeing of that neon in real time, and that is what we are going to also demo you. When we do this thing, all our processing power on the back side, why we have to show this thing? To keep ourselves aware. Nothing is burning off. There are 128 core machines with the 2 CPUs and multiple GPUs is able to make this live in 20 milliseconds. Later that can all go into the cloud. You don't need to worry about that thing. That is why we are keeping. And so what you're going to see is the live demo of the next generation of the Core R3.
Okay, we'd like to switch over to this neon now, who we call Maya. And here we're focusing more on this more granular, finer level of control of the face. So first I'll ask her to, for example, smile. And you'll see a nice smile come up, or perhaps another one. She could perhaps be surprised, or angry, or skeptical. Now at this point I'm going to actually freeze the face, so I'm going to just change modes very quickly into a mode where at this point I'm going to show how we can control specific facial features. For example, the eyes. I can close them, I can open them.
So what is he doing? If you look at his tablet, maybe Simon can show it a little bit. Forgive it is not a final UI or anything like that. This is for our internal testing. He can slide his eyes open and close. He can say, okay, move your mouth this way. Can you move your head this way? Can you move her head while closing her eyes?
So here's a tilt of the head. I'll tilt it either way, and these are all independent. So I can do that. Eyes open and close there, or on this side. We can also move the eyebrows, both or one. I'll reset that now. And we can also have her speak. So let's switch to a mode where she can speak. For example, she might say a story.
Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank underneath the root of a big fir tree. Now, my dears, said Miss Old Rabbit, one morning you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor.
So you can see that
Now run along
while she's talking,
and don't go
I'm able to move her head by just sliding that thing. So this is not a recorded content. Every of that frame is generated in live real time. The voice delay that you're seeing is nothing to do with us. Any voice system, we can sync that voice system. Because we are not interested in, okay, the voice syncing is happening or not. What we are talking about is visual reality. Voice system, we can plug in any voice system. And I will show you that thing in a second. Why don't you show that voice system?
Sure. So this is another neon where the focus has been more on speech in different languages. Just a quick example in English.
Hi, welcome to CES.
Now, the voices aren't something that we produce. They could come from an external third party.
You can sort of express and also say similar way, so you understand it's a similar.
Yeah, I can change expressions on this one. For example, here's a confused look.
So when you said confused mode, that confused mode system is also coming it's a similar system. It's a similar kind of neon, her with her own confused expression, her own smiles, right? And now, the voice that you're hearing over here. So do not misunderstand that we are an AI voice company or machine learning speech coming from our system or something like that. There are multiple players in this area. You will see so many of players are showing their voice assistants and those kind of technology. What we are showing is that before that particular part. Right now, if we want, CoreR3 can connect to any third-party voice assistant system, any domain-specific knowledge. If you are a bank and you want Neon to learn the domain-specific knowledge about banks or hotels or restaurants or a field, how to play flute or how to speak Spanish, we can connect that with the third parties. So what Simon is going to see that can be live. This is happening in the cloud system. We are trying to connect to a third-party API or third-party SDK, you may call, to connect to other voice system. This is not coming from us. So if you hear the sound which is sounding mechanical, it's nothing to do with Neon. In the future, that's where I'm going to come for the Spectra and you will see part. So Simon.
All right, let's try a couple of other languages. We'll try Korean first.
CES에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
And perhaps something in Chinese.
你好，请问我有什么可以帮你？
So what is happening here is that our Neon connected to a third-party voice API system and it asking the response. Any other language you know?
Well, we could try Hindi.
और क्या हाल चाल है?
हाल चाल अच्छे हैं. I can speak Hindi, so I can talk better. But now we can also do something more interesting, because just to show you that capability of third parties can go anywhere. There are a lot of chat bots, like a chatting systems, online chatting systems with the voice assistant or something like that. Simon, can we try to connect a third party chatting chit chat system or chatting bot or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
So now Simon is connecting it to the third party
So how
chat
do you
system.
like CES this year?
So now this is not our system. Now Simon, because this is a chit chat system or chatting system, chatbot, Simon can be able to ask the questions by his voice and then able to permute those systems or any way, if you by voice or by whichever interface the chatbot is providing to him. Any questions? Anything? Any other? Okay. If not, then let's pause there, because it might be the third-party API system is not responding. So as you mentioned, that this is not our connection.
Hello, how are you doing?
Okay. Again back. You want to? You have it? Connection.
That was the response.
Okay.
I'm not a fast typer.
Yeah. So what is happening is that even Simon was able to put some information, and that's what the chatbot reply. You can imagine the possibilities that, imagine you are coming from Spain and you have a Spanish domain-specific knowledge or any connection, we can connect that. We are not here to show you that part of it. Last 4 months we are not working on any AI or voice, or that is not our domain. There are a lot of players doing that. What we want to talk about now is very quickly give you the brief of what we are doing with Neon. Our aim is to make Neon virtually real, more real, like us. We do not want Neon to be an AI assistant. Neon is not an AI assistant. It's not Hey Neon. It is about Frank, Natasha or Anna. They have their own personality. You talk to them as if you are talking to a person. You have your customized person that you build friendship with, you build memories with. The neon learn from you, you learn from neon and you become a friend. That is what the goal is. The third thing is that neon is domain independent. If you want to learn yoga from a person who cannot go to everywhere, a neon yoga can come to your home as a teacher every Friday 1 hour and teach you yoga. When I go to travel some other part of the world where we cannot speak Hindi or English, they cannot speak that my language, I go to China. But in 5-star hotel of China, concierge, they want to provide me the best service, but they don't understand my language, I don't understand their language. A neon concierge can help me to communicate the way I want, a human interface to that thing. And Indian media have a breaking news. Imagine an Indian media overnight have some breaking news. A Chinese audience is interested in to know what happened over there. How can they know? Technology now can cross the boundaries. That information can provided to them real time, generated in real, with the same news anchor they love to watch. That is what the magic will be talking about. And we are talking about neons becoming friends and collaborators with us. In every field that is possible. In the fields where doctor cannot reach, they need some instruction. A farmer in India, he cannot know which button to press in order to register system. Or he can talk to a person, oh, can you help me register in this system? That visual connection we want over here. And at the same time, we want neons to be open and connected. When we say open, that they are open to any third-party services, because it's impossible for us to work with a German manufacturer and what this particular system they wanted. When we say that, that also provides us the privacy. You must have a question, what about trust and privacy? Core R3 is built upon the principle of the privacy from ground up. There is no way anyone, even including me as the head of this company, can have any access to your interaction with your neon. That is what level of the encryption privacy that is built up in the architecture of the Core R3. So as I mentioned, that Core R3 can connect to domain-specific knowledge, voice services, content providers. But as you see that I'm not very happy with the status of the voice neon, I am here. That's a robotic world. In order to solve this problem, we are building something even as exciting. We calling that Spectra. Spectra will complement neon. Spectra will complement Core R3. When Spectra will be completely in beta version that you will see end of the year or maybe year after, Spectra will provide memory aspects of it, learning aspects of it, and that is what we want to do. Because we cannot rely upon memory aspects of any providing technology right now outside. There is nothing out there. So what you're going to see is that 4 months we delivered a preview of Core R3. End of 2020, 4 months we did this thing. We have 11 months. The team is want to take 15 days break because they are not slept for ever, if you think. After that we are going to again go in that mode, and we are preparing for Neon World 2020, where we want to show you. At Neon World 2020, we want to show you the preview of Spectra, and we want to show you the beta version of the Core R3. Meanwhile, we will start working with selected partners across the globe to start testing, beta testing neons in the real field with some B2B partners. So we learn back and forth, is it right, is it working, problems, issues, right? So I think that there is 2 ways to live in the future. Either we wait for someone to make future for us, we wait, oh, someone build the future, and then we live with that future. Or either we become that someone. At Starlabs and at Neon, in my place, all my colleagues, they want to be the later one. They want to be the one which design and we partner in creating our future. And that's what, as Einstein said, that I never think of the future, but it comes so fast. because it's already imagined and he can create it. So with that, I would say thank you, and please talk to all my colleagues over here, and big shout out to all my friends and colleagues here. I know that they have worked day and night for these moments and this thing, so I really, really appreciate, and I'm so proud to be part of this team. Thank you.